Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Taylor. So today I'm going to be talking about the books that I'd love to get to in February, and also specifically the books that I want to read for my Once Upon a February readathon that I'm hosting with 5 other lovely ladies: Paperbacks and Ponytails, Christy A. Cole, Cat Stories, The Writing Songbird, and Celestria. So I will have my original announcement video linked in the description box if you missed it and need to check it out and see what books you would like to read if you'd like to participate. What all the prompts mean and all the things. I will also have my co-host videos in the description as well, so you can get even more ideas. But yeah, I'm super excited for February. I've been looking forward to it for quite a while for the readathon, and also it's my birthday month, and I'm so excited. So I did want to mention, in case you noticed, that my background looks a little bit different. I got a new bookshelf. So I inherited this, I guess you would say. It was my Mima's bookshelf, and I guess I would be considered the reader of the family. So they asked me if I wanted it, and I said yes, of course. I would love a bookshelf. I was actually kind of considering getting another one because I got a lot of books that needed a home. So it is now part of my collection, and the bookshelf that was directly behind me, it's this one. It scooted over, and the one that was there is in my kitchen now, housing my cookbook. So amazingly, my kitchen now has cookbooks in it, like it should have to begin with, but rearranging things now works out for me over there where it didn't before. So I'm super excited. I am planning on doing a bookshelf tour in February. I don't have a huge bookshelf book collection, little tiny library, but I thought maybe that might be a good video in case you're curious about my collection. So keep an eye out for that video. But this one, I'm going to be talking about the books I want to read for February. So the first ones are leftovers from January. It is the end of January, the time I am filming this, and I am definitely not going to finish these. So February, here we come. So the first one is the Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. And I am buddy reading this with Chrissy from Chrissy's Purple Library, Holly from A Lovely Day with Holly, Lindsay, and Teresa. They're both on Instagram, so I'll have them linked below in case you want to check them out. They all have lovely book content. Love them all. We really enjoyed reading The Hobbit together last year, and we wanted to continue reading Tolkien, the Lord of the Rings series. So this is our first foray into the trilogy part of it. And I am checking out the Andy Serkis narration. My goodness, I can't talk. I never can talk in videos. Whenever I first listened to it, I was like, oh boy. I definitely need to visually read this too, not just read this with my ears. So my eyes and ears need to be on this story because I have watched the movies several times. They're my husband's favorite movies of all time. He is definitely a fan. But even though I've watched it countless times, some of the terms, I need to read them too, because I struggle with it on the movie screen, what things are called. I always confuse Saruman and Sauron. I can never remember. I know the main people. I know them. But yeah, I struggle a little bit with the words. So I need to physically read this. I think it'll sink in better if I do both. So that put me behind. We started it later in the month anyway, which we knew we'd be reading in February, but I believe I am the furthest behind just because I haven't really been able to listen and read to it too much. But it will get done. It will get done. The next one I feel so guilty about pushing. Because it's ridiculous how long I've had this book, and I'm a horrible reader, friend, ARC person for doing this, but yeah, I'm so sorry. But the next one is Audrey and the Legend of the Fireos by Christy A. Cole, one of my lovely co-hosts and fellow booktuber. She has her debut novel, which is obviously this book. It just released, and like I mentioned, I've had this book for so long, had been putting it off, because I had a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, I still haven't finished it yet. But I'm loving what I've read so far, and I will finish it in February. It takes me, I have learned through this experience that physically reading things, I can only handle one physical book at a time. I overcommitted myself, I guess. I'm not the same reader I have been in the past because my life looks a lot different. So I'm still getting used to that because I could read a lot faster physically, but now I have very limited time. So anyways, this story is super cute. It is a YA fantasy story about Audrey. She ends up at a school for girls that teaches them like survival skills and how to fight. And there are some evil creatures, some evil things that are encroaching upon this manor of where the girls are living. And I'll leave it there because it is really cute so far. I'm really enjoying it. It reminds me a lot of Ella Enchanted because there's some fantastical, like, magical elements to it. It has kind of like I don't know, it has the same feel to it. They both have boarding schools or school for girls, but they're very different on what they teach, but it still has that same type of feeling. So yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with the story. The other thing that is being bumped is for Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. And the first prompt for January was, well, I chose the Doyle track. It was a book with a dog on the cover, and I was going to read The Hound of the Baskervilles. Didn't get to it, so I'm bumping it to February. And speaking of Chantel's challenge, the one for February is a book 250 pages or less. Not 25 pages or less, 250 pages or less. And one that I own and that I've been meaning to get to is I really want to finish the Narnia series, The Horse and His Boy. Don't really know much about this particular story, but I have really enjoyed the first two books before this, so got to get that one done. I'm also doing a buddy read. I'm done with my January leftovers. Thank goodness. But I do have a buddy read for February with Anne over at In Search of Wonder. And we are reading The Letter Tree by Rachel Fordham. And this was a book that Anne won from my giveaway, one of my Q&A giveaways. And yeah, so I picked out this book off of her wish list, and I was like, if you want to read it together, let me know. I'd love to buddy read. So we're doing it in February. So super excited about that. The next books I'm going to talk about are the ones that I want to read for my readathon. So as I mentioned before, at least in the announcement video, there are 12 prompts, and I'm definitely not reading 12 books to meet every single prompt. I am doubling up, tripling up, however many up, to use the book as much as possible. I believe in making a book work for you for readathons. So one of them is Hunting Sirens by Mary Meckham, and this one is the sequel to Becoming Hook, and that was my favorite retelling of last year. It's been a highly anticipated release for me. It released in December, I think, and it is back in the Neverland world. It is a Little Mermaid retelling where the mermaid in this situation is the man and the prince role is now the princess. So they swapped places from the original tale. So that will work for the Fairy Godmother prompt, which is a gender flipped retelling. It also works for Pixie Dust and Magical Creature because sirens. And also, I think it will work for Musical Voice, a book that incorporates music or singing. The main character, which is the male, the merman, or the siren, he is deaf as far as I know, so I don't think he sings. However, there are sirens, I believe, in the book in general, which sirens sing, so I think that will still work. And then Long Locks, a girl with long hair. There's a girl with a with long hair on the cover. Also, Snow Queen on a quest. I'm pretty sure the main character, female, she is on a quest to hunt down sirens, obviously from the title, so that will probably work. So that is 5 prompts right there with 1 book, so yay. I would also like to read The Court of Swans, which is by Melanie Dickerson, and she writes Christian retellings that are mostly in the medieval period, and that one is a retelling of the Wild Swans or something. I'd never heard of it before, but that fits my Bluebeard lesser known retelling prompt. It also has red in the cover, so that will fit Red Rose. Let's see what else. Evil Stepmother, a Notorious Villain. I would assume there's probably one in that story. If not, I'll figure it out. It's another option. And let's see. Wolf, which is an animal integral to the plot. There are swans in this story. And yeah, so that's that prompt, or that book for all those prompts. And let's see what else. I would also like to use the letter tree, I think, for Merry Men, which is a male main character. I think that one's dual perspective, so I'm hoping that will work. I hope I'm right. If not, Lord of the Rings will work for that. Midnight, the last to read a book, and I feel like the letter tree, I feel like it's been everywhere. A lot of people have talked about it and loved it, so I feel like it's the last one, so that one will definitely work for that one. Thumbelina, a short book, which Sherlock's The Hound of the Baskervilles book, or The Horseman's Boy, both of those could work for that as well. So I think I touched on all of the prompts. And I did want to mention I am participating in a few reading challenges. I already mentioned Chantel's. I'm also doing JaneReads, and the main prompt for February is to reread a book, and I don't really reread, and I don't want to this month, so I'm subbing in one of her other options ones, which is a favorite author. I'm going to use Melanie Dickerson and The Court of Swans for that one. Katie over at Paperbacks and Ponytails, she has her read around the World-a-Thon, and the next prompt over, because I did finish the one before, it is a mode of travel, and I was like, how in the world can I get the books I'm already reading to fit this prompt? And it is a mode of travel. And the letter tree just so happens to have an elephant on the cover, and I'm pretty sure that's not the point of this book. However, there are people that use elephants to be transported from one place to the other, so I'm going to use that one. And then the last reading challenge is Oceana's from Oceana Gotta Read 'Em All. She has a Christian romance readathon or reading challenge, and she has a lot of different prompts that you can use at any point you want to, which I'm so thankful for because it is a lot easier. So this one I'm going to be using the historical prompt and using the letter tree for that one. So definitely some crossovers and everything. Last thing I wanted to mention is myself and the other co-hosts are going to be doing a live stream, a reading sprints on February 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be on my channel, so I should have a premiere thingy coming out so you can push the notify me button. But we're so excited to do that. I'm so excited for the Readathon. I can't wait to see what y'all read. Let me know if you're participating and what your TBR is. If you don't have a booktube or a bookstagram, or if you are on those, tag me so I can see it. I'd love to see it. I've seen a few of y'all make your TBRs, and I'm so excited that y'all want to do this with me. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your January and an awesome February, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye y'all.